George Kusunoki Miller, also known as Joji, is no stranger to the internet. He ran the popular YouTube channel Filthy Frank from 2013 to 2017, and it is currently sitting at 7.8 million subscribers at the time of this recording. It is from this point in 2017 where George would upload a since then deleted video to his YouTube channel titled Filthy Frank Exposes Himself. Now in this video, George would tell his audience about his ongoing health issues which stemmed from running the Filthy Frank show. Later in the year, George would upload a video titled Francis of the Filth, which would solidify his retirement of the pink guy persona and the Filthy Frank show as a whole. It is from this point forward where George would rebrand himself as the musical artist Joji with songs like Slow Dancing in the Dark, Give Me Love, and Glimpse of Us. Joji would solidify himself as a respected artist and garnered the attention of millions across the globe. In fact, Joji just concluded his arena tour this past December, and I think it's safe to say that George is easily the most successful YouTuber turned full-time musician. Now with the introduction out of the way, let's focus on one thing here: Joji's discography. Joji currently has 3 full-length LPs and an EP out on all platforms, all of which are pretty solid albums, except for his recent album, Smithereens. The album compared to his other works is dull, unamusing, and can be hard to listen to. The album sits a little over 24 minutes and it is the shortest out of all of his LPs. It seems as if Joji didn't even care about the quality of this album. The songs are short, feels like they have no proper structure, and it seems as if Joji just really needed an album, so he just grabbed unfinished songs or demos from his hard drive and slapped it together and called it an album. Now, I didn't come here just to start shit-talking his recent album, not completely at least. I came here to explain why he may have done it, or what may have caused him to drop such a bland and mediocre album. Now before we continue with this video, I'm going to be splitting this video into 4 different parts. I also want to point out that this is 100% speculation, and this is simply what I think is going to happen with evidence that I found and seen online. So if you're enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe because it really helps your boy out. But anyways, back to the video. Before we continue talking about Joji, I want to talk about something real quick. Record labels. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. What does a record label have to do with this, or how does this pertain to Joji and his music? And to that I say, hold on. I'll get to that in a second. Now for those of you who aren't aware of how record labels work, here's a little insight on how they work. Record labels such as Sony, Atlantic, or Warner Brothers are always trying to find new talent every single day. And when they see an artist they feel has the potential to blow up, they sign them to a recording contract. Now in this contract, the label gives you a large sum of money which is called an advance. This advance is essentially a loan that helps fund the making of your album. In return for this large sum of money, artists have to sign away a portion of their masters to the label. Now for those of you who don't know what a masters is the original recording of a song, sound, or performance. By signing this contract, you're signing away the copyrights to your music, with the label now owning a percentage of your music. They can now dictate what they want from you in future releases. Hell, they can even sell it to other people if they wanted to. And there's nothing that the artist can do about it because they legally don't own all of the percentage of their music. It should be noted that in this contract, it is only valid for a certain amount of years and the label wants you to release a certain amount of albums. For example, you may sign a contract that says you need to release 3 albums in the span of 6 years, and another artist might get a contract that says that they need to release 4 albums in 7 years. It all just depends. Now that we know how record labels work, we can use this knowledge and apply it to the next subject. Now, let's take a closer look at Joji's discography, particularly the song Modus off of Joji's second album, Nectar. This song talks about how Joji feels pressure from someone to be molded into something that he clearly does not want to be. Even in the song he says, "I want to be a Chevy, not a Sentra, and I don't feel the way they programmed me to feel today." One can interpret that Joji is talking about a group of people forcing him to become something that he does not want to be. This goes back to what I said earlier about record deals. Record labels have complete control over your music and what they want you to release. You signed your masters away, and as long as you're in this contract, there's virtually nothing that you can do. Joji is signed to a joint deal between 88 Rising and Warner Records. Now, I don't know the current standing on this deal because if you go to the Warner Records website and scroll, Joji's name is missing. However, if you look at the 88 Rising website, Joji is right there. but there is also numerous articles that speculate Joji left 88 Rising to join Warner Records. So as of right now, everything's in the air. Let's take a quick dive into the record label 88 Rising though. 88 Rising is a record label founded by Sean Miyashiro and Jason Ma. Their goal is to help promote Asian and Asian American artists and help them establish a fan base in the Western world. 88 Rising also is the home to some pretty solid artists, some of them being Rich Brian, Jackson Wang, Keith Ape, and the man of the hour, Joji. As of recent times, I think it's safe to say that 88 Rising is a good key factor in the success of a lot of Asian American artists in the West. Now let's revisit Modus for a quick second and look back at the line. This one might be a stretch, but Joji uses a metaphor describing how he wants to be a Chevy and not a Sentra. Now as we all know, a Chevrolet or Chevy is an American car, while Sentra is a type of car by Nissan, a Japanese car manufacturer. Using this metaphor, we can infer that Joji is talking about his label, 88 Rising. 88 Rising wants to keep Joji in this Asian American artist box and limit the creative freedom Joji desperately strives for, but Joji isn't all too happy about this. Obviously, Joji isn't the only artist facing this problem. There are many artists who go through this every day and speak out against this problem all the time. And as I see it, there are only two solutions to this problem. A, get out of your contract and find a new label, or B, go completely independent. And this leads me to my next point. For those of you that have been keeping up with Joji lately, you're probably familiar with this brand named Plum Corp that has made a sudden appearance with Joji, with him plastering visuals all over his recent shows, the recent promo he's done for the Plum Corp YouTube channel, and not to mention it's the only account that Joji follows on his Instagram. Now, I did some digging on the Reddit from other Joji fans that were just as curious as to what Plum Corp is, and I stumbled across a Reddit post from user visual_labs430. And basically they explained in their Reddit post that Plum Corp is a company that Joji owns. It is his record label, subsidiary label, audio visual label, concert visuals label, clothing brand, publishing studio, and his content creation studio. Plum Corp is owned by Joji's privately owned business called the Gandola Brothers LLC, created by himself and his agent, Jamie Masuda. Joji uses this LLC to trademark everything he has ever made, even dating back to the Filthy Frank characters along with his musical career. If you scroll down to the post, the user posted a link to a website called opencorpus.com, and by the looks of it, everything checks out. Also, there's another website called trademarkia.com where you can see all the different trademarks made by the Gandola Brothers LLC, so that even further solidifies the Reddit post. Now with all that being said, why did Joji make this rash decision? What caused him to make his own company? The answer is simple. It's so that he has 100% rights to all of his characters and music. Backtracking to Modus once again, it seems that Joji has been yearning for this freedom. He's tired of being forced to become something that he doesn't want to be. He's tired of feeling programmed by the record label. So Joji felt the necessary route to get out of this was to become independent and own 100% of everything that he creates. That's why he's made all these companies, so he can have complete creative control over any and everything that he does. The Gandola Brothers is just an LLC that was used to trademark and start up Joji's creations, whether it be something in the past or in the future. Plum Corp is an audio-visual company, so anything related to recording music, clothes, publishing, and content creation, Joji has to go through himself to get it done, giving him the opportunity to have full creative control and pocket all of the profit. Now again, some of you may be thinking, what does this have to do with Joji sabotaging his last album? The answer to that is quite simple actually. Remember how earlier in the video I mentioned how record labels have contracts that allow an artist to release a certain amount of albums within a certain time frame? Well, from what I can see, Joji may have been given a 4-album deal by 88 Rising over the span of 6 years, or something else along those lines. Meaning he has 6 years to drop 4 albums before he could have the opportunity to either renew or be let go from his contract. So far from what we can tell, Joji may have been experiencing restriction of creative freedom in his works, and eventually being fed up with this, while in his contract, he was building up these companies with the help of his agent so they could be ready to pump out content for his first album as soon as he got out of his deal. And to satisfy the requirements of this contract, he needed to release his final album binding him to this contract, which just so happens to be filled with demos, unfinished ideas, and etc. It was the perfect piece of work needed for him to get out of his contract, granting him the creative freedom that he's long been waiting for. This isn't something that's new in the music industry either. Artists do things like this all the time to escape their terrible record deals. One famous example is the deal Frank Ocean had with Def Jam Records and Frank finessing Def Jam out of $30 million. which honestly is a story for another time. And if you don't know the story, you guys should check out some videos for more insight, or just let me know and I'll make a video on it myself. Also, one thing I feel like that's worth noting is that during an interview with Charlie Puth on Cyrus XFM, Charlie explains that the song Glimpse of Us was originally recorded for him, but he couldn't get to it in time due to him touring. So fortunately, Joji got his hands on it and released it himself. I feel like this missed opportunity for Charlie completely helped Joji in many ways, not for just streaming purposes, but for his contract. Not only did Joji give 88 Rising their last album in his contract, but he gave him a hit, so it potentially made it easier for him to get out of his contract and walk away scot-free. But one question I do have though, is will this album live up to the potential of Nectar? I don't know, but that's something I'll look forward to seeing in the future. Artists unfortunately fall victim to terrible deals from their record labels all the time. They lose their creative freedom and can lose many rights to their music, and Joji's story is no different. Fortunately, Joji was able to find his way out, and hopefully he'll be able to enjoy the creative freedom that he's always wanted. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps your boy out a ton. And if you want to see more videos like this, just let me know in the comments. Alright, thanks for watching. Peace.